Welcome to the Ask a Poll UAP podcast. I'm your host, Matt Laslo, based here in Washington, where I hound the nation's lawmakers on your behalf. Thank you so much to all our subscribers, and hey, make sure and give us a like, if you like us, that is. And if you haven't yet, please consider a paid subscription to help this scrappy startup continue changing Washington one interview at a time. And now, here's our latest Ask a Poll exclusive from your U.S. Capitol. I was curious your thoughts on what the White House said about the drones yesterday, that it's all FAA.
Well, I think that's what the last White House, it's not all FAA, it's just, they're drones. You know how many drones are bought on Amazon every year?
So that's what's
and what if
flying over Luke Air Force Base?
Well, some of that stuff could be adversaries.
Yeah.
You know, when I was stationed down at Pax River, right, test center, we used to have North Koreans, in the fence.
Yeah.
So, how do you get better video of something? You can get better video from a drone over the field than you can by standing at the fence of a military base. So, some of this is irresponsible hobbyists.
Yeah.
I think there is an aspect of this, it's our adversaries. It just makes sense that they would do this. The stuff over New Jersey, it's drones. It's not...
But it's just FAA. So FAA's proved all these, you believe.
Well, I think some of them are, like what the White House said yesterday about this, I saw some of it. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The big giant drone, you know what that was?
Yeah.
It was a V-22 Osprey, which is a vertical takeoff and landing military logistics airplane that the Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps fly.
Because it's interesting. What shut down Langley for those 16, 17 day period.
That becomes a problem when you have an adversary that's trying to collect intelligence flying over an air base. You could have airplanes crash into those drones, or somebody who lives in the area who's flying their hobby drone and they either lose control of it or they decide, I'm going to go and take a look and see what's on the airbase. They're big problems. That's why I've got legislation on this with Chuck Grassley about flying over military installations. If you're a hobbyist, that's not allowed. Yeah. And there's penalties.
Because Kane and Warner just had a classified briefing a month or so ago, and both of them are furious, saying after a year, no one in the government knew what was flying over Langley.
Well, we don't, because we don't.
But that doesn't match with what the White House said yesterday.
No, I think the White House was talking about what was going on in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Unless I missed the whole point. I only saw that brief portion. I think they were talking about.
They said Jersey, yes.
Yes.
But the Jersey delegation was asking. We're seeing these intrusions. Gillibrand heard complaints about it in Nevada when she was on a classified briefing.
Yeah, and I think some of this could be adversaries, and some of it could be hobbyists. I'd say for the most part, probably most of them are people that are operating their drones under FAA rules, or their military airplanes, or they're just civilian airplanes that people are suddenly thinking, there's this whole thing about drones. That must be a drone.
Yeah.
So.
Can I ask you a question about the Gabbard hearing coming on?
Thanks for listening to Ask a Poll, your conduit to Congress. I'm Matt Laslo, offering a hearty thank you to all our supporters out there. Keep feeding us your questions, and we'll keep holding your politicians accountable to you. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe at askapoll.com. We can't do our independent journalism without your support, fam. Cheers.